Hi there, it's Carol with Carolbcrafts. Today we'll be making this awesome nautical congratulations card. It could be used to give to a graduate, someone who's received a promotion or moving on to a new job. It says, "Congrats, set sail in the direction of your dreams." This is card number 4 in my Sailing Home Class to Go kit. Check out my website www.carolbcrafts.com to see what current Class to Go kit I'm offering. Now the stamps that we use for this class is the Sailing Home stamps and the Smooth Sailing dies, which has some awesome nautical themed dies. You'll also need to have your kit, but if you don't have your kit, I'll give the dimensions as we go along so that you can make the card with us. And you'll need some Night of Navy ink and your light and dark crumb cake. These are your Stampin' blends. And for adhesives, you'll need mini glue dots, snail, glue, and some mini dimensionals, and I'll be using my Take Your Pick tool. You'll also want to get your Stamparatus or stamp positioning tool and your die cutting machine. So I like to start with our stamping, so I'm going to get the items that we will be stamping. We'll have some Whisper White that we'll stamp, and then I believe everything else is going to go, we'll get that later. So I'll bring in my Stamparatus. So we'll start by stamping on our 3 1/4 by 2 inch piece of Whisper White. We're going to stamp Congrats, and we'll be die cutting it, so we'll stamp it in the center. So I'll place that there and pick it up. I'm going to ink that up with Night of Navy ink. And it's upside down, but that's okay because I can still die cut it. I just need to die cut it with it upside down. Okay, and so now we're going to die cut a couple of the sailboats. And this is a piece of 4 1/4 by 3 1/4 Whisper White. We're going to die cut some sailboats with this. The large and the small, this one and this one. So we'll stamp them first and then we'll die cut them. So just put them there next to each other. Clean the stamp off. Now you might want to stamp these together, but I like to stamp them separately, so I only have to worry about inking up one at a time. And so I'll rub it so I get all the detail of that ship or boat. And I'm going to do it twice so I get a nice rich image, maybe even a third time, because I do want that to be nice and dark. That's what's great about the Stamparatus. I'll clean that off. Now I'm going to put the larger sailboat there and stamp it in Night of Navy. Okay, I think that's good enough. I'll clean my stamp off. And now we're going to stamp the inside sentiment, and that is set sail in the direction of your dreams, and then the smaller sailboat and some of the seagulls. So we'll get our 3 1/2 by 4 3/4 piece of Whisper White. And well, first of all, let's get our 4 by 6 plastic. I have a 4 by 6 piece of window sheet. You get one with your first Class to Go kit from me, so hang on to it. You'll use it again and again. We'll get our set sail in the direction of your dreams, and we're going to put that in the corner and ink that up with Night of Navy. It's just going to be a guide for us. And make sure you put it back in the corner. So I'm going to slip my paper portrait style in here. Make sure I have it level. Okay, so I'm happy with the way that looks. I'm going to remove the plastic, ink up my stamp. Clean off my stamp and clean off my plastic sheet. So we don't really need to use the plastic sheet for the rest of it. We have this small boat. We just want to make sure that it's sailing level. And that looks like that will be a good spot for it. Ink that up. Okay, so I'm only going to do that twice. I'll clean off my stamp. So I didn't want to make the boat too dark because I'm going to want to put my seagulls here, and I want to make them nice and dark, so I'm just going to put them over, kind of sailing past the sailboat. Okay, that's good. And I think we are done with our stamping. Now before we do some die cutting, we're going to do some quick coloring with our Stampin' blends. We're going to get our light crumb cake and do the sails with the brush tip. Okay, so I'm just going to do kind of one coat with the sails. I don't want to make it too dark. Now with the dark crumb cake, I'm going to do the boat itself. Okay, so again, I'm only going to do one coat. I don't want to make it too dark. Now these are ready to die cut, and so is our congrats. So I'm going to line these up, and then I'm going to tape them in place. So now that I have these taped in place, I'm going to run them through my Big Shot. So we're ready to start assembling our card. I'll bring in the rest of our items here. We'll get our 8.5 by 5.5 thick piece of Whisper White and fold it in half. Crease it with our bone folder. Now we do have quite a bit of stuff going on the front. The first thing we want to do is this, we're not going to use all of this. So we're going to take some snips or some sharp scissors. We're going to cut off the flag part here. So once we've got the flag part cut off, we do need to, I forgot about a part of this, we need to die cut. I have a piece of Night of Navy that is 2.5 by 1. We're going to cut another one of these banners out from our 2.5 by 1 inch Night of Navy to go underneath this. So this, again, we're going to kind of push that down and make this have some dimension so that we can put that on our card. It'll have a little bit of dimension. And then we'll put our congrats on the front of that in a minute. See, right now we're going to get, let's get this piece of the largest piece of Night of Navy, which is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. We're going to put on top of that this piece of striped DSP from the Come Sail Away DSP. It's 4 by 5 1/4. So I'll put that on with some glue. Now I'm going to decide which one edge I want for my bottom. Got a little bit of glue there. So I'm going to mark 1.5 inches from the bottom with a pencil, so I'll know where to put my ribbon. 1.5 on each side of the back. And then I'm going to put some snail above that, about 1 inch of a snail above and beside. for my ribbon to have something to adhere to. Okay, so I started to put the ribbon on, but it's not time to put the ribbon on. We're going to first build up a base. So you have these two pieces. They started out at 4 by 5 3/8, but I took my snips and I cut little like waves in them at the top. I just took a tiny bit off to cut waves. So we'll start with the thing we have to put on the bottom, and I better put something here to keep this adhesive from sticking, since I've already put adhesive on it. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. So 1.5. I'm going to go ahead and mark on the front to about 1.5, where it will be underneath the ribbon. Alright, so that's where I want to put this, but first, before I put that on, I want to put my Sahara sand, which is the third largest circle in the layering circles die, and in this Sahara sand, it's going to go on a balmy blue third largest scallop circle. That's going to be kind of like our sunset. So I'll put that on with some glue. And get that in place, and then I'm going to go ahead where I've marked the 1.5. I'm going to kind of put that in place with the bottom edge at the mark. Kind of get an idea where I want this. I don't want it too far down into here. I'm going to put some glue on this, but I'm not going to glue it over that. I'm just using that as a guide right now. So I'm going to glue it about right here. So I'll take this out, let that set. Now next is going to be our small sailboat. We want our small sailboat to go behind the big sailboat, and we want it to be kind of like this. So we'll go ahead and put our small sailboat on with some, I'm going to use mini glue dots. It doesn't really take that many glue dots. Alright, and I'm going to put it, I want to make sure that it's going to be under the water here. So that should be good right there. So I'm going to put it there. So now I'm going to put this on with some snail. Make sure I get the edges good so the edges stay down. Find my mark and put it here. Okay, so now it looks like it's floating on water. Now we're going to do the same thing with this boat. We're going to put some glue dots on it. At the bottom, but at the top we're going to put one mini dimensional. So I've got two glue dots down here, one mini dimensional up at the top, just because there's a difference in the level. Okay, so this is going to go kind of right here. Okay, now we're making progress. This is going to go on top of there, and I'm going to put that on with mini dimensionals. So I have one on each end and then some in the center, and I'm going to put this right on top of the one below, matching it up perfectly. Okay, so now we're ready to put our ribbon on. So we've already marked the back. So I've got my marks there, so I'll get my ribbon, put that over. Now I just want to make sure that I leave room above this ribbon to fit the twine. But I do want a little bit of the navy showing below this ribbon. So here we go. Make that a little more even. Okay, bring this one around, push it in. Okay, that looks good. I'm just going to make sure I have plenty of adhesive for that twine to dig into when I bring it around the front, like this. So the twine is just above that other ribbon. Now it's ready to go on the front of our card right here, and I'm going to put that on with some snail, but that's not all I'm going to use. Had to change my snail, ran out. Okay, so I'm going to put some snail here, but before I put this on, I'm going to put some glue here, and the reason I'm doing that is because I want to make sure that doesn't lift up. I'm not getting too close to the edge, as you can see, because I don't want it to ooze out. Make sure it's opening the right direction. And you have to be careful. You really only get one shot at this, so you got to get it right the first time. And then push down there where that glue is and make sure that is good and set. It's a little work. There's a lot of dimension. You probably wouldn't want to stick this in the post unless you're putting it in a larger envelope along with the gift or something else. Now we're going to put our congrats on. So we'll take our glue and glue our congrats to our banner. It's right on top there. It matches perfectly because it's the same size. And that's going to dry. We can put that on with some mini dimensionals. So I'm using 4 mini dimensionals, and that's just going to go right here underneath, maybe 1/8 of an inch below the light of navy. Make sure it's level. Okay, I like that. Now we're going to put on our little helm. We're going to do that with 1 mini dimensional right in the center of the back. It's going to go up here, kind of next to, but not directly in the corner, kind of right. Well, right there, I guess. Looks good. Now we're going to put a mini, these are 3 small pearls, of the smallest pearls, the basic pearl jewels. And we're going to put 1 in the center, and it fits perfectly in there, just like that. We're going to put 1 up at the top right. If I can get it to cooperate. 1 at the bottom left. And all we need to do now is the inside. We'll put that on with snail. Put the inside sentiment on. And that's going on a piece of Night of Navy that is 3 3/4 by 5. Just put this on the inside. Okay, our card is finished. That's project number 4 in my sailing home. Class to Go kit, check out my website www.carolbcrafts.com to see what current Class to Go kit I'm offering. Thanks for watching. Bye now.